Why are black women so bad nowadays? Why are black? And I can say that as someone who loves black women. I have plenty of beautiful black women in my family. I have plenty of beautiful black women that I've been involved with romantically. Um, and so I'm not biased. I actually am biased in favor of black women. But even with my bias in favor of black women, we have to recognize how bad they are. The three women that you're looking at on the screen are three black female politicians. We know that in America, some of the worst politicians are black women. Are black women. Whether we're talking about mayors, I don't think there's ever been a black female governor. But mayors, senators, look at Kamala Harris, some of the worst. And it's not because it's nothing inherent to them. It's nothing that says, biologically black women can't be good politicians. It's because of this. Let's look at this. Da, 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 da. Let's find this article. While black women are leaving the church, these women decided to leave their toxic religious institutions for alternative and healthier practices. Here's why. Now, when you have articles like this is Black Ballad. Now, if you're leaving one bad church to go to a good church, or you're leaving a bad church to develop a personal relationship with God, that's one thing. But that's not what we're seeing in the black community today. We're seeing a lot of black women get away from the church. And, I know churches, some churches have had their problems, but you really need a church, or at least biblical based values that you're trying to adhere to. But what we're seeing is these women are getting away from the church and they're clinging to something else. They might cling to voodoo. They might cling to horoscopes. They might cling to their own. This is probably the number one thing they cling to: spirituality. And all spirituality is just creating your own bullshit rules that where anything can go. And when you're not adhering to a truthful system, to a true system, and that is a biblical system, if you're not adhering to a biblical system that's telling you not to have an abortion, that's saying that's outlawed. If you're not adhering to a biblical system that's telling you not to have sex before marriage, that's outlawed. That's telling you not to engage in homosexuality because it's outlawed and because it's abominable. If you don't have a system in which you're adhering to like that, then you're going to fall victim to the horoscopes. You're going to fall victim to the spirituality and the voodoo. You're going to fall victim to it. And that's what we've seen black women do. And we haven't seen politicians like this is where the politicians should come in. People always talk about the separation of church and state. I don't know if I really believe in the separation of church and state. I believe it is incumbent upon especially black politicians to say, look, we have a fatherlessness problem in America. Perhaps we should start reintroducing Christian values with the efforts of getting the father back into the home. That's not what you're seeing these politicians do. What you see politicians like the nasty women that you're looking at on the screen, largely what you see them push is more abortions. Well, if you don't want to have kids, abstinence isn't the answer. Not having sex isn't the answer. Have an abortion. If you feel the urge to have sex with the same sex, go ahead and do it. Live free, die hard, catch HIV. No problem in that. We have these nasty politicians giving the worst possible prescriptions to what our problems are in the black community. Maxine Waters, she's touted going out and injuring politicians in which you don't agree with. There's a video of her doing that. This woman that you're looking at, her name is LaShonda Butler. She is, let's look at her family. I think that's her name. Let's see. Can we find the article? Here it is. LaFunza Butler, the nation's first black queer senator. What she wants you to know about it. I don't care. This is her with her quote unquote family. This is her with her quote unquote family. We all know this is not a real family under God. This is what they want your politicians to become. Why is that? Well, they understand that if she's gay, she's controlled. Who is she controlled by? She's controlled by Satan. If she's gay, she's automatically going to be okay with the abortion. If she's gay, she's automatically going to be okay with transing the kids, pushing a transgender agenda to little kids. She's going to be okay with that. Because, one thing, and you'll probably notice this pattern if you keep watching this channel. When it comes to a person accepting Satan into their life, and if you've accepted homosexuality or lesbianism into your life, you've certainly accepted Satanism. One thing you learn is that that's typically not the only sin that they're victim of. Once that demon has gotten a hold of your sexuality, the other things are going to continue to fall. You're going to have waning ethics. You're going to have waning morals, because Satan doesn't just stop at one. It's like a domino effect. And so they want these gay queer, as they call them, queer politicians, because they understand that a queer politician is obviously going to push the abortion. A queer politician is going to have no problem with Kamala Harris bringing booty-shaking Meg the Stallion to the campaign rally, because that's what we want black women to become. That's what they want black women to become. Look at this bald-headed freak. You can't trust a woman with this type of hairdo. Look at Jada Pinkett Smith. A woman that goes around bald-headed is a woman that you cannot trust. But this is what they're pushing to us. This is what they're pushing. They want to push lesbianism, because if they're pushing lesbianism and homosexuality, you're not procreating. A lot of these women will have a baby with a man and then get a step stud, a stud. And they call it a stud, a woman that behaves like a man. They get a step stud to act as though the step stud is the father. Well, that's a broken home. That's a broken home, having a step stud in place of a father. And I don't know what she called herself. She's probably gay too. But don't trust no bald-headed woman. Don't go around believing no bald-headed fucking woman. But these women are all supporters of Kamala Harris. And these women all share in common that they're pushing very disastrous and very bad agendas onto the black community. If you think black women are bad now, just imagine in 20 years, 10, 20 years, when the full effect of these feminist politicians have taken hold in the black community. Now, we can slow it down and bide for a little bit of more time if we don't get Kamala Harris into office. Now, if Kamala Harris gets in office, then women like this, it's going to be an order of magnitude worse than it is now. But we can maybe bide our time a little bit if we don't put Kamala Harris in office. But that's the video. I didn't really have too much to talk about today. Stay away from these black female politicians. I want you guys to start noticing patterns with these black female politicians. That they're all pushing the same type of anti-male, anti-black male, pro-abortion, pro-black genocide agendas. Start noticing that. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. And remember to like, subscribe, share, and as always, stay woke.